25 RV items you're gonna like to have. Hi folks, let's discover the 25 items that you really need to go RVing full time, or at least want to go RVing full time. Now when you get your RV, they're probably gonna give you a kit like this. And see, this kit has some bare essentials, but its lower end items really won't hold up to what you're gonna do. So today what I'm gonna show you is some of the things that we either wanted or needed in order to do the RV journey. So here's my top 25 items you'll need when you start RVing, especially if you're gonna go full time. So I'm gonna start over here with a little water. I suggest like a 6-gallon extra water can. Okay, they're not that expensive, but at least it keeps some fresh water on hand in case you run out and you're on the road. Say you're in between spots and you may be pulled over for the night at a Cracker Barrel or a Walmart. You might need some extra fresh water. Mentioning water, here's one of my favorite things. This is called the Big Berkey. I believe this is the 1.5 gallon size. You don't want to go too big when you're talking about an RV. Obviously you have limited space, but this thing, I've had this for, this is not new to me. I've had this for probably 6 years. I've changed the filters once and it just happened. Okay, filters last a long time in this thing. It averages about 3 cents a gallon for water. You clean them once every couple months and you're good. And the level of filtering this does is far superior to almost anything else you're going to get out there. I could literally take water out of this lake, pour it in here, and drink it. It's that good. It's like 99.9% of all contaminants. So this thing, definitely something that you might want to have, and I'll do a more extensive video on this at a later date, but it will be in the links below. I suggest it. May not be the thing you have to have your first day out, but trust me, you don't really want to be drinking the water from all over the place. You never know what you're going to get, and the fact is, water tastes different everywhere. You're used to something, get used to one single taste. It's a good deal. It's what you want to have. These are roadside, because you don't know when you're going to get stuck. If you're on the side of the road and you got semis coming past you, you're going to want some of these markers. And these fold up really easy. Little bitty thing, but it's something you're going to want if you ever get stuck on the side of the road. Everybody's had some kind of tire issue, you know, and if you get stuck on the side of the road and you got 18-wheelers coming by you, you're going to want something out there to at least give them a flash, especially if it's at night, that, hey, there's somebody going there and there's some kind of problem there. So make sure you get some of these. These are fuses, and it's always good to have some extra fuses around, because you never know when a fuse is going to go out, and this could become necessary. You get a fuse out, it could knock out an essential system. You might have to drive miles to try to get a fuse to replace it, and you know, who wants their air conditioner out just because of a fuse and you don't have an extra one to replace it? Might be necessary. So be sure and get yourself an extra fuse kit. Here's a handy little item. Okay, this fits on your stabilizers, your little jacks there that stabilize your RV, and you can use your power drill and take them up and down instead of hand cranking that thing. So if you've got a hand crank, nobody wants to do that constantly. This, you put it on your power drill, it takes it right down, brings it right back up. Little impact wrench, you got it. So it's about a $5 item, well worth the money. getting back to water, this is called the 0G hose. And it's a 50-footer. So it'll go most distances of any place you're gonna be. Now I always have an extra hose on hand just in case I need a little extra, but this 50-footer will do most everything. It packs up really nice and tight. It doesn't kink up. It's a great little hose. I'll have it in the links below, but water safe, so you can drink through this thing. Just a great little item to have. It's the 0G hose. I highly recommend getting one of these. Here's another little item. This is a adapter so that you can get 2 areas of water off the hose that you got. So, like for us, we don't have an outside shower, but sometimes it's nice to rinse something off outside. This shuts off the one side, so you don't always have to use that. You keep the water running to your RV, but you also have the opportunity to have a little hose outside if you don't have an outside shower on your RV, and we don't. So this is a great option to have. Coming over here, these are must-haves. This 50 to 30 and a 30 to 15. And obviously we have a 30 amp RV, so you're gonna need this because not every RV park is supplied with 30 amp power. Some of them have 50 amp power, so you're gonna need to step it down to your 30 amp. You might be at a friend's house. They don't have an RV hookup, but you wanna run some essential systems. Now you can take your 30 amp, hook it to their 15 amp power, and you've got your essential systems. You might not be able to run the air conditioner off that, but at least you got your refrigerator or other things running, your lights, your USB ports are working optimally and everything, so you can keep at least doing the things you need to do when you need to do them. So it's a must. Now here's an optional item, and it really depends on where you're going. So we plan to do a lot of different types of traveling and go to a lot of different places. And so we bought some bear spray, because some of the places where we're gonna go, there's gonna be bears. And you always wanna have a little bear spray on hand just in case. The chances are very remote that something's gonna happen to you. But if you're in one of those areas where you have bears and you don't have this, it could mean your life. So definitely for the extra 30 bucks, you might wanna get some bear spray. Here's another item, and this has to do with our water. It's the Oxygenics handheld shower system. Now, RVs, they have a shower in them, all of them, and they have a shower head, and it works fine, but it doesn't do most of the time what this one does, because this one has an easy on-off, shut-off. It gives great water pressure through it. It's optimized to extend your water pressure, so you get a little better water pressure, because who wants to take a shower when it's dripping down on you? But this thing takes the water and sprays it out in a way that it'll save you water, optimize your pressure, and you can turn it off and on whenever you need to conserve your water in your RV. Because if you're out at any time at all and you're not hooked up to a park water system, once again, say you stop for the night at a Cracker Barrel or a Walmart or a Bass Pro and you want to take a shower, well, you don't want to use a lot of water. You might not have a lot of water with you. Hopefully you have your 6-gallon can and you can get a shower. There you go. Here's another item. These are RV leveling blocks, and you've almost got to have these with you, because you never know what situation you're going to be in. Most of the time sites aren't level. This might even be to put underneath your front RV jack to raise and lower the camper, just to have a solid, stable place for it to sit on the tongue of the trailer. So you definitely want to have a set of these. Now we have Anderson levelers, so we probably won't use them as much as what other people might, but Still, you never know when these are going to come in handy. Here's another item you're definitely going to want to have. A first aid kit. Some kind of little first aid kit. Just for your cuts and scrapes and things like that. I mean, we have a 6-year-old. There's going to be cuts and scrapes if you're out camping. So you definitely want some kind of first aid kit. It can be little or big as you want, but you need something, because it's going to be important at some point. Somebody is going to get a cut or a scrape. Could be me. You need some kind of tool set. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Now, I have a lot more tools than this that I'm taking with me, but we're going to be full-time on the road. But at least some kind of tool set that's got, you know, some wrenches, some sockets, a screwdriver, the bare essentials, the different heads for the screwdriver. So if you get a little thing you got to fix, you don't have to call somebody to fix it. You can fix it. You know, don't be scared to fix it. If you're going to be out on the road, you better learn to fix a few little things here and there, because let's face it, things break on RVs. They're moving homes. There's no way they won't break. You've got to expect it and be ready for it. I have a much bigger kit than this, but I do have this small one just because it's handy and I can pull it out and get the basic essentials that I need. Okay, this is gonna look stupid. A fly swatter, people. You're camping. There's gonna be flies. They're gonna irritate the heck out of you. So get a little fly swatter. Some kind. Doesn't have to be anything expensive. Just something to get rid of some flies. Because who wants them landing on your food all the time if you can kill them off a little bit? Here's something that was essential for me. It may not be essential for you, but for me, safety was important. And this item keeps us safe. It's called the TST tire pressure control system. And what it does is it monitors the tire pressure and the tire temperature. So if you're going down the road and one of your RV tires starts to heat up or starts to lose pressure, well, let me tell you, you want to get it fixed right away, because if you get a blowout, it could be thousands of dollars in damage, let alone the damage that it could do to your family and loved ones. So it's worth the $500 to put on a tire monitoring system. We have this one, the TST, and from what I understand, it's one of the best out there. I have not used it yet, but I've watched a lot of videos on this particular system. We're going to install it. It will handle our vehicle tires and our RV tires. It'll have a monitor right up front so I can see what the tire pressure and what the tire temperatures are for all those. And if perchance something goes wrong in one of those tires, it'll automatically switch back to that tire and tell me where the problem is, so that I can immediately pull off to the side of the road and assess the situation. Highly suggest you get one of these if you have the money. Next up, this item is a mat, 9x12 mat for the front of your RV. The reason I consider this important, not only does it make it look nice and the wife likes it and all that, but it keeps you from bringing stuff into the camper, because let me tell you, if you're out in the woods, the camper's gonna get dirty with just stuff on your feet. So if you got this, at least you got a buffer zone where you can wipe your feet off just a little bit before you get into the camper. And these are made to spray off, and they dry out really fast, and you can keep them clean, keeps your area clean, keeps it nice and tidy, and a nice area to look at. So definitely it's worth the option of getting one. It might not be something you have to have the first day, but it's something you're going to want to have later on. Okay, I've never used this, so I can't tell you exactly how good this is. But if there was a product that every RVer agreed on, it seems to be the Instapot. It cooks about everything. You can make full meals out of this thing. You can bake a cheesecake in this thing. So you're gonna need something that's multifunctional for your food preparation. You don't want to heat up the RV all the time with the propane. So this thing plugs in, cooks a great meal, cooks multiple options, has different things on it. You can cook rice, or you can, like I said, you can cook cheesecake. There's a yogurt maker in this thing. It's a warmer, it's a steamer. It does a lot of things. Once again, everything I've seen, I would highly suggest this. I guess I won't know for sure until we use it some, but it seems to me that if there was one product out there that every RVer agrees on, it's the Instapot. So this next item, you need a little gas on hand, especially if you got a generator, or if you just happen to be going down the road and you didn't watch close enough and you might need a little gas. Do you really want to wait the hour for somebody to get there? Maybe it's a good idea to have a little extra gas somewhere so that you can go ahead and fill up your tank, get back on the road, get you to that gas station, and move on from there. And if you have a generator, you're gonna need gas. So my suggestion is, I bought a little 5-gallon tank that I can keep with me, okay? And I know what you're thinking. You're looking at this and you're going, it's yellow. You got a diesel generator? I don't. In fact, most people don't use diesel. Truckers do. RVers do sometimes. My vehicle's gas, okay? But that's your limit on who usually uses diesel. The reason I bought a diesel can, I know this is regular gas, but to me, when I thought about it, I thought, well, I've heard of people stealing gas cans out there. And I thought, well, what would detract them? So, once again, most people use regular gas. So if they see a diesel can and it's labeled diesel, maybe they don't take my can. Maybe I'm a little safer that way. Also, if they do happen to take my can and decide they want to fill up their car with my can and it's diesel, they're going to have a little bit of a problem down the road, because this is just regular gas. So be forewarned. Don't use my can for diesel. All right, I got a couple more items. Okay, here's my fancy little chair. This thing is the zero gravity chair. What I like about it is it goes all the way back so you can relax, sit there. It folds up nicely. It's got a little cup holder here. You can have your favorite beverage. You can sit back, relax, enjoy the sun, enjoy the breeze, wherever you're at, and just have a nice time. And like I said, it folds up like a lawn chair, so it's not going to use a lot of space. You know, we put it on our top bunk, and that's how we go down the road. We have 2 of these. Great little option though, much nicer than a lawn chair. So now we come to the dirty part. Okay, and let me say first off that none of this stuff has been used yet. Okay, so don't think I'm grabbing something without gloves. Another item I don't have here, by the way, is some nitrate gloves. I do have them, I just couldn't find them for the video. So anyway, they're blue gloves. You always want to use the blue gloves when you're going, or you could use a pair of gloves that are made for waste and are reusable. Just have to clean them off every time. Either way is fine, but have yourself some nitrate gloves because you don't want that mess. A lot of disease comes with that. So anyway, this is called the Sidewinder. And the reason you got to have this, and you may not use it that much, or you may use it as much as you want for that matter, but some RV parks require it. And what it does is it goes out, it moves out, and it gives a gentle decline. It gives a resting spot for your waste, well, what they call a stinky slinky. And by the time it gets there, it's done a gentle decline, so the materials keep moving through it. So it's definitely something you're going to want to have because you may be required to have it at certain RV parks. Next up, okay, so got a little bug there. I got this little carrying case. It's just a regular, it's kind of a heavy duty storage container. It's black. I got one to carry your waste disposal stuff because you don't really want to be touching that. You don't want it touching other things. So have a separate container. And now I'm going to open it up, show you what we got inside here. Okay, you definitely want some of these. This is a mandatory item. Okay, in fact, both these items are mandatory items. They're just items after you've done your dump. You go ahead and throw one of these in the toilet, put a little water in there, let it dissolve in there, keeps it smelling good. You don't want to go without it. You may end up regretting that if you do. So definitely have those. And then this is the Rhino variety, and I kind of demolished the box. It's sitting over there, but it's kind of demolished. It's 2 sections. This is a 20-footer. It comes with this clear plastic part that goes into the dump station. That way you can see if it's clean. You can also get one for the other end where it hooks up to your RV to see if the water's clean coming out of there. Obviously, dump your black tank first, then your gray tank, so that you get a good cleaning out of it and make sure that everything's good and make sure that it's nice and clean inside there. Like I said, you don't want problems with your black tank. So, and don't buy a cheap one of these hoses. If it breaks, just think about it. Not something you want to go through. This is nice. It's very secure. It's one of the best made. And I'll have a link below so you can get your own Rhino. So, a couple things you're going to need for your water system is this little handy adapter that comes off and does the L here. The reason you want that is you don't want that much pressure on this water hose coming out of your RV. These things are made of plastic. They break easy. So if you got something to relieve that pressure, then you don't have to worry about that because it's a lot cheaper to buy one of these little items than to replace that. Next up, you're going to need an RV water filter. This is just a cheap RV water filter. You can get them in a range of varieties. You can even get inline systems. But you're definitely going to want an RV water filter because every place you go, in fact of the matter, every place in the country has different qualities of water and different taste in water. You want something to filter through, so it's going to be a little bit better water for you. I'll get to more of that later. Now we have a 30 amp RV, so this is another one of those items that is going to be almost mandatory for anybody doing this on a full-time basis for sure. Because when you go to RV parks, you don't know exactly how old their system is, how they've hooked up their system, who's hooked up their system. And if you get a surge into your RV, it can be thousands of dollars. So for a couple $100, you get a surge suppressor that monitors your system and shuts it down before the damage happens to your RV. I know it sounds expensive, but it's well worth it. If you have a problem with electricity, it's going to cost you a lot of money. So make sure you get a surge suppressor. And we'll have links below for this. Now this is one of the most important items you're going to need. This is a pressure regulator. And the reason you need this is RV parks in general, some of them have good water pressure, some of them have too much water pressure. If they have too much water pressure and you run that through your line, it's going to possibly explode your pipes, which will make a major repair into your RV. So make sure that you get a water pressure regulator valve 100%. That's probably one of the top 2 items you're going to need when you're out RVing. So here's one more item that I thought you might want to know about. It's a master lock, and it just slides up. It's got a ball here that comes right up into your hitch. I like this system. I don't know how they overcome this system without drilling out the lock, and I assume that would be very hard to do. So to me, this is a simple little lock. Works good. Keeps your RV protected a little bit. Obviously, if a thief wants something, they're going to get it no matter what you do. But just another deterrent to keeping good people honest. Anyway, it's the master lock, the ball system that slides right up on there. And I like this system. You might like this one too. Now I got 2 more items for you. This one's kind of specific to us because we don't have a black tank flush on our RV. And if you don't have a black tank flush, then you're going to need this. It's a swivel stick, okay? It's for cleaning out your holding tank, your black tank. So you put this part down, you hook this up to your water supply, hook this part down into the black tank, sprays inside there, cleans it out so that you don't have any problems with smell or anything like that. Gets everything cleaned out. My suggestion with this, because you could hook this up to a regular hose and bring it in from the outside, put it in. I think that's what most people do. My suggestion is to get yourself a little 10-foot hose. Have a connection on your shower head, because your shower is going to be right there in the bathroom, where you can hook up that little 10-foot hose. Unhook your shower head, put on the little 10-foot hose, hook it to this, okay? Then you can just spray it on down there, right there. You don't have to drag a hose all the way through the RV park in order to get in here and carry an extra 50-foot hose to go ahead and clean out your black tank. Now this is only if you don't have a black tank flush. We don't, so this works for us. We can hook it right up to the shower and spray it out really quick and done, and keep a clean, fresh smelling RV. Here's my last item, and this is kind of unique to us too, because we don't have a ladder on our RV. And normally I would say that's a bad thing, except ladders can be a little bit funny to use on RVs. Some of them aren't made so well. Some of them are fine. A lot of them don't go up and over anyway. So for me, this is just as good. And it allows me to have a ladder on hand in case we go someplace where we need to use a ladder for something. You know, it might not be the top of our RV that we're trying to get to. Maybe we've stopped somewhere and helping a friend out or something, and they don't have a ladder on hand, and I'll have a ladder with me. Or for whatever other myriad of uses, maybe I just want to get a cat out of a tree, I don't know. But anyway, this little item is a telescoping ladder. It's not too heavy. It probably weighs about 30 pounds. But this one goes out, and once I unstrap this, it'll go up 16 feet. And it just comes up like that. Really simple, easy to use, and it's all you need really. And then you put it up wherever you're going to go. and take out as many as you want. You don't have to take it all the way out. It's just whatever you want to use it for. Let's say I wanted to climb this tree. Well, I could. I can just go right up the tree. And I'm right where I want to be. Here in my RV. Hey, there's a guy with a song like that out there. You've probably seen his channel. So there'll be links to everything that I've went over here beneath the video. We want to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Helps our channel grow. Helps us to put out more videos and stay on the road. Also, if you'd hit that little notification bell, you'll see when we've got a new video coming out. We really appreciate you watching our video, and you stay safe out there and be blessed. Have a great day. Thank you from Discovering a Wonderful World. Bye-bye.